This video is brought to you by the Deck of Many and their animated spells, tarot, and more Kickstarter ending soon. Welcome back to the Gallant Goblin. Today we're reaching back into the vault to show you something a little different. With the news that WizKids is planning to go back into the Gargantuan Dragon business later this year, we wanted to revisit the last time Wizards of the Coast ventured into the Ancient Dragon lair. This is the Gargantuan Black Dragon from the Dungeons & Dragons Miniatures game. The Miniatures game was a war game where two players would pit their custom-made armies against each other. The game was produced from 2003 to 2011, and this particular figure was released in 2006 as a special limited release. Let's take a closer look. To boil it down, depending on their coloring, dragons in 5e have a favored environment they prefer for their lairs, a damage type for their breath weapon, a type of treasure they like to collect for their hoard, and a personality trait. Black dragons prefer to lair in swamps, perhaps in half-sunken ruins, marshy caves, or forgotten grottos. They can breathe acid, so adventurers may find acid-charred bones outside the lair, warning them of the danger ahead. They're considered the most evil, brutal, and cruel dragons, and like to collect the ruins and treasures of fallen civilizations. They like inflicting pain and will often tease a victim with the possibility of escape or mercy before melting them with their acid. Now, dragons in 5e D&D have a different size depending on their age. Wormlings are medium creatures on a 1 by 1 inch base. Adolescents are large, 2 by 2. Adults are huge, 3 by 3. And ancient dragons are gargantuan on a 4 by 4 inch base. So this mini is sized as an ancient black dragon on a black, square, 4 by 4 inch base. Also included in this box is a card detailing the stats of the Black Dragon for the Miniatures War game on one side, and for the 3.5 edition of the D&D tabletop role-playing game on the other side. There's a little rules pamphlet detailing all of its miniature game abilities and 2 scenarios that you can play, or possibly adapt or gain inspiration from for your tabletop RPG game. Finally, there's a nice single-sided map of the dragon's lair, titled Underground Grotto, including pools of water, bioluminescent mushrooms, and a dragon throne surrounded by loot. The map is 22 by 34 inches. There are little icons designating where squares are difficult terrain, and also little dotted off areas to show you where your wargaming army should start. As long as you're willing to ignore the little starting area marks, the map is great for an epic dragon lair encounter in your regular D&D or Pathfinder games. And of course, it has 1 inch squares, so it'll work just fine with all your other minis. We've reviewed one other set of figures that was technically part of the Miniatures game, the Beholder Collector's set. You can see that review by clicking the eye in the corner of your screen. There were only 4 large standalone figures in this limited edition miniature icons line: the Gargantuan Black Dragon, a Gargantuan Blue Dragon, a Colossal Red Dragon, and a Gargantuan Orcus figure. The Miniatures War game was followed up with a game called Dungeon Command that ran from 2012 to 2013. We have a couple of these sets that we'll review in a future video. Then D&D Attack Wing was a tactical war game that was in production from 2014 to 2016. Attack Wing repurposed the Icons of the Realms minis that you're already familiar with. These days, your sources of WizKids pre-painted minis are the Icons of the Realms line and the various board games, like Dungeon of the Mad Mage here, that are released periodically. This one was released in 2019, though, like Attack Wing, the board games share the same minis as Icons of the Realms. WizKids has announced a new series of Gargantuan dragons for Icons of the Realms that should be kicking off sometime in the next year or so. They plan to release a new one every 3 months, covering all types of D&D dragons, from chromatic to metallic to special varieties like the Shadow Dragons and Dracoliches. The first one is actually going to be the Sapphire Dragon, scheduled to come out in July or August of this year. We recently helped spill the beans on a lot of WizKids news, like the new Gargantuan Dragons. To see all the news, you can click the eye again in the corner of your screen. And leave me a comment down below telling me what you think of the Gargantuan Black Dragon, and if you like seeing these older figures from our vault. even if they're, hard to find these days. I will say that when we make these videos on older sets or minis, if they are available in limited supplies at online retailers, they tend to get harder to find after our video releases. If you want a heads up before our videos come out, follow us on Twitter or Facebook so you don't miss a chance to grab these harder to find figures. We want to thank our sponsor for this video, the Deck of Many. There are only a couple of days left in their Animated Spells, Tarot, and More Kickstarter campaign. The campaign is funding the development and creation of more decks of animated spell cards, among other goodies. First, we have the spell decks for D&D spells from level 6 to level 9. This should finish off your collection if you backed the first Kickstarter campaign or bought the decks off their website. They're also making a deck of actual animated tarot cards, which are gorgeous. And through stretch goals, they've unlocked a deck of animated condition cards, animated Humblewood spell cards, animated townsfolk cards, which are system agnostic and help you fill out any random NPCs your players may meet in a town. There's a nifty spell slot tracker board, an art book detailing the process of making animated cards, a spellcraft deck, which includes animated spell effects on one side, but on the other side is blank, so you can write up your own details for homebrew spells or spells that weren't included in the other decks, and a deluxe tarot box set that includes the animated tarot deck, a hardcover book on using tarot cards, 2 fabric cloths, 4 tarot art pens, and a sturdy box to keep it all in. And if they reach their next stretch goal, they'll bring their animations to Roll20, and they'll unlock more than 600 animated and static assets you can use for your online tokens or reference cards. The campaign ends on June 11th at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, so go check out all the details right now at animatedspells.com. Thanks for watching today. You can always help us out by clicking the little thumbs up button, leaving us comments, subscribing to the channel, and sharing our videos with your friends. I hope you're staying safe out there, and I'll see you next time at the Gallant Goblin.